Christmas Day in Australia, 2016.
So, having a look here in today's Courier Mail, it's Boxing Day, it's your birthday. Turkeys, rail bosses face sack for operating on a wing and a prayer. What's wrong with these fuckers? I mean, you've got a minister, you've got all these executive staff. How can they not run a fucking railway? What the fuck is the problem with these people?
Well, I think, look, you got to say who's responsible for all this stuff, and what does the minister really do with in relation to the railways? And to a certain extent, these guys don't even talk to the minister, don't tell the minister what's involved. The minister really, to a large extent, depends on the success or the abilities of his staff, don't they? The guy in charge of the department, he's pushes down.
But I mean, seriously, this minister earns, how much does a minister earn? He's on 200,000, isn't he?
The minister, well, maybe 300,000. But
Okay.
but the minister is not in charge of the railway department.
But he says to them, I mean, he's the elected representative, isn't he? I mean, we all vote.
But he's the party whip or something. He does something else in the party. He gets people together. He's got to get.
Well, in the Labor Party, it's the unions. The unions give you the nod. That's who
Well,
controls.
he has to. His job, whilst he's the minister, he's got a lot of other roles.
Yeah, but how come they can't run a fucking train?
But you're blaming the minister. It's not the minister.
So
You're
who
blaming the
is
train.
this? Is the
But
DG, Director General's fault?
Well, you got the public servant. You got the guy at the top, and then you got all these guys down the bottom. In decreasing seniority.
Yeah.
You've got a department. You've got these experts. They should have sat down ages ago, and bearing in mind they're getting all these massive salaries, and they've got all these experts attached to them. Work out what the hell is wrong, and what do you need, and what the crises are. And even when things happened, say 3 months ago, surely they could work out now. But I saw it in the paper that the problem is that they have an agreement that with the unions, and it doesn't matter which government's in power because you've got the same crisis, that they can't employ people as train drivers, new train drivers. They have to first of all get existing railway employees to be upgraded.
Sure, that's
so
correct.
if you're a guard, then you can become a train driver, or if you're a station master,
you can become a train driver.
Well, that is restricted in itself, because the guy at a guard, all he does is wave a flag and blow a whistle. He mightn't have, he might be able to drive out your train and pass some exams. It takes a bit longer if they were able to, say, go to another state, advertise overseas. If they're able to,
the problem is
they can't. They're not allowed to.
No,
that's very restrictive.
Well, but the thing is, they've known about this for a long time. They got a new line. They started a new line, right?
Yeah.
If they're going to have new trains, you've got to have so many drivers. I mean, they've got all these executives, all these accountants, all these time and motion people, looking at all these executives all over the place. What the fuck do they do besides work out how many toil days they get? This is a fucking joke. It's a. All people want to do is get to work, don't they? They want to get to work.
But look at the railway department. What does it do? Well, you think why you got all these people in the railway department? Why can't they run a train?
Yes.
Well, let's see what really think about it.
Yeah.
What do? Well, a lot of people are involved in paying the rent for premises. A lot of people pay the electricity bills. A lot of people order parts and pay for them. A lot of people, arrange, do all sorts of administrative work and all sorts of work associated with, cleaning and maintaining and railway trains and paying salaries and wages and all this. There's a large portion going to that area. The people who are actually in that area of running timetables and staffing is probably only 2 or 3.
Well, the problem is...
Maybe there's 20.
The problem is that...
Everybody else is told to get their nose out of it.
If you're in the public service and you complain, you'll get the sack, won't you?
Yeah.
You get bullied and pushed around.
Yeah.
You can't open your voice.
No,
you can't open your mouth.
Well, if you complain, you won't get promoted, or you get the bullet now.
Well, they'll make it hard for you.
Yeah, make it hard
for
you.
Give you a shit job.
So you sit there and keep your mouth shut, and you hope it's all going to be all right.
Well, you don't give a fuck.
You don't care.
You don't care.
Yeah, you don't get sick.
But I mean, seriously, this is a joke. People just want to get to work, don't they? They want to get to work. They want to get on the train. When you advertise a train service, that's it. I mean, look at Japan. I went to Japan. The train is so accurate. The train is dead on time. No fucking variance. Dead on time. Much bigger rail network than here.
Well, I think a lot of things too.
It's a fucking joke. It's a joke. They can't run a train service.
No. It's more involved than that. I think why have they got enough funding? Have they got enough staff to do all this stuff?
Obviously they have too many staff.
And then they've got certain people in individual roles who are too afraid to say anything because of those reasons you're talking about. You say something, you don't get promoted anymore, or you get the bullet. Because there have been a lot of sackings in the public service.
Yes.
Especially under Campbell Newman.
Yes.
So a lot of people, they're all yes men.
Yes men.
You can't say anything. And
Yes.
there's a lot of people, roles where you don't even get paid and you've got to be a yes man, otherwise they don't like you. And so they're restricted. And the people who are running that area are very few who could have done something, and they don't want to upset the minister. They don't want to... either they don't want to upset the minister, or they want to make the minister look stupid because they're back the other side politically.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to undermine a minister or whatever, isn't it?
But you tell me this, right?
So
I wrote to the minister before Christmas.
yeah, but
right?
a lot of loonies write to the minister.
No. But I'm special. I'm fucking famous. He knows my name. The minister knows who I am.
He does now. He did before.
He knew before. I wrote to him, Merry Christmas, Sterling. I said, a gift for you. I told that fucking cunt, I told that lazy fucking cunt, right? The drivers, because I've got internal gossip, the drivers are all going on holidays when the school holidays starts. I told him this. I sent him a video link. Watch this.
Yeah, but
right?
But do you think that's all he's got in life to do? He does.
Because Pelachuk told him to watch the fucking video.
How do you know that?
I've got internal gossip. I've got internal. They watched my fucking video, right? Well, why didn't that cunt fucking do something? The lazy cunt. You know that? That guy is a lazy, fucking useless cunt.
But look. Yeah, no. But that speech is. You can't say that.
No, I can say that. I can say whatever I fucking want.
Yeah,
the cunt's there.
He'll bump you off.
The cunts have got a private investigator to photograph me. Did you know that?
Well,
Queensland Rail paid a private investigator to photograph my house and what I look like.
Well,
Did you know that?
They didn't pay a person to bump you off.
No, I'm just telling you.
That's the next step.
I'm telling you the
truth. And just tell them that this guy lives in Jamboree Heights, not Man Omni. He's I hear these noises at night time.
I tell you the truth.
It's either a possum or one of those railway guys hanging around.
I tell you the truth. They're a bunch of cunts. You know that? It really...
But look, that minister, you think all he's got in life is to think about
that
you?
minister, he was invited to key board meetings. He'd rather go to Indy. He went to the supercar races. That came out in the paper.
But look...
He's not that fucking good.
Yeah, but let's suppose he gets the sack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's suppose... the government's gone. It's hanging. It hasn't got a majority in Parliament. They can't lose even one guy. It's like the previous government, with Labor government with Gillard, that a guy who was using prostitutes and stuff, doing all sorts of stupid stuff, that they held on and defended him. Same as this guy. They can't get rid of him. If he switches to independent, they're gone. The government's gone.
Well, they can still sack him as a minister. He's still a member of the Labour Party.
He'll say, I'm going. No, once he's sacked as minister, that's the end of his career.
So what? These fuckers come back.
Well, what? No. For him, I think it's more involved than what It's easy to say. Oh, look, right. That's easy to say that. It's just the same as saying, look, blinking. The economy is falling down. That's because Archie is not working properly. He should be. He should be have 3 jobs. He should be. Not sitting on his ass and pretending to be doing something. It's not relevant. There's more. I don't know the full story because I don't follow it that much either. But taking action against the minister, 1, it affects the government because he's an incompetent minister. 2, if he decides to leave like the other that Aboriginal person, who decided to become independent, they got a real problem. If they got independents there, they want member in their party, and if she had a majority of 20, he would have been gone ages ago.
You reckon?
I think so.
That's the problem.
But she can't. She can't because she's so reliant on. You can't just sack him because.
That's nuts.
You can't just sack him because he's so important in the numbers game. And those politicians, you think, do they manage the government? Well, they're there to keep the government in power, isn't it? Because if he goes, and they're going to cover stuff over so that people think they're great. Too much controversy, they'll lose office. They don't want this railway stuff's coming back and back and back to haunt them. They don't want that. Because the Speaker is independent, isn't that Peter Wellington?
That's
isn't
right. That's right.
He could be swayed either way. He's independent. Now, if he's swayed too much, he'll vote the other way, and they've lost government. That's how delicate it is. That's the same as Malcolm Turnbull. I think he's got 1 majority, hasn't he?
No, it's in the Senate. They've got problems.
No, but Malcolm Turnbull in the House of Reps only got 1 majority.
Oh, it's not as bad as that, is it?
I think so.
No.
I think it is. He wouldn't have more than 3. Because he's got 1
But
and
I
3.
mean, how come all people want to do is get to their fucking job? They use a public transport, they use a train, you want to get on the fucking train. How fucking hard is it to run a fucking commuter train? How fucking hard is it for these cunts?
It's very hard.
How
In
is it
England,
fucking hard?
in England, they decided that it's cheaper to pay for insurance when they come up the tracks than they fix the tracks up.
They're just fucking cunts, you know that?
People's expectations are high, and also they're cutting costs and they're cutting. There's something wrong with the whole setup there, but if you're hampered by who you can employ, like the government, if it was capable, would say, right here, we're short of drivers. Advertise around the world. You get 10 drivers from England, you get 3 from America, you get 2 from New Zealand, 1 from South Africa, and you've got the drivers there. But they can't do that.
They can employ. They've got all these fucking people at the station. They can let them become the drivers and get new recruits to fill their role.
But the guy at the station waving the flag, he hasn't got the brains to drive a train.
He just forward and reverse. It hasn't even got a steering wheel. These things. Forward, reverse.
It says it takes them 1 year to train the driver.
Yeah, 1 year.
Well,
why didn't they fucking think of this? Don't they do forward planning?
Obviously not.
They've got all these fucking consultants.
Yeah.
Some of the best independent consultancies have come in and given expensive reports. They've paid big money for these reports.
Yeah, and shoulder.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stupidity in the government. All governments, all sides, in all areas, federal and state, everything. There's a lot of stupid. On every topic almost. they're just arguing about stupid stuff. If there was a war on, they'd say, listen, let's do it. They'd get together and vote and do things. You know, when there's a war on. Because when there's a war on, what happened in Australia in the war, they choose the best out of the Liberal Party, best out of the Labor Party, and they ran the ministry. They didn't say, oh, only Liberals. They chose the best people, and the other guys went and fought, and got a rifle and went and fought. You know, that's what they did. But when there's not a war, you got these
egos.
Yeah, and people who are not that good running departments. See, this was Trump's in American politics. He's got the advantage. His senior positions are not, one, they're not politicians often, and two, they don't even have to be in their own party. They can put a Democrat in charge of the CIA or something, right? Even though it's a Republican Party. We don't have that luxury in Australia. And the ministers here are party hacks who, who just, all they're interested in getting re-elected and getting the numbers and all this sort of stuff. And that's the shame of it. I don't know how the department works, and these things that's come out, it makes them look pretty stupid.
Rightly so.
That's not my fault. That's their fault, because they should be able to overcome that and solve the problem. But I think it's not just that area of government. I think it's all. Just the other ones have been covered. This one's been exposed.
That's how they are.
But why can't they see? They got the government. See, they're afraid. Well, you're short of drivers. Well, it was 3 months you had a crisis, say 3 months ago. You could have 20 drivers already started work, recruited from other states or other countries, couldn't you?
Yeah.
What's hard if you're a driver in America, or in say South Africa, or in England? You can it takes you 2 weeks training and you're off. It's like a doctor. If you're a doctor in England, you don't need much training to be a doctor here. Yeah.
No.
Just know how to fill in a Medibank form and how to write scripts here. You know what the rules are, and you're off. That basic long-learned training, you've got it. But they can't, because you have to employ a guy that cleans the toilets. He can now become a driver. Well, you don't want a guy who cleans the toilets. You want somebody who's a bit more brains. One of my clients is a train driver, and he doesn't.
Well, he can't tell upper
Aspire.
management. He'll get chain of command.
Yeah,
You've got
you
to follow
can't.
the chain of command, or else
Right.
you get your head kicked in. What are you doing, putting your nose where it's not?